gotta get a haircut. Oh shit, I went live. Alrighty. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? So, I'm gonna let this kind of play. Then I'll talk a little bit for a second. Make sure the audio, everything's kind of working on my end, and it should be. Hopefully it is. Yeah, looks like the mic queued up the right mic and everything. Alright, so I was actually expecting to have my co-host back on today, so I mean these are mainly been one-man shows. But anyways, welcome to the Locker Room Podcast, episode 13 at this point. So, hey BTS, good to see you early, my friend. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Yep, episode 13. We're going to talk about Team Canada and that whole debacle. We're also going to talk about a lot of different things about teams, during the All-Star break, up to the All-Star break, and where we feel like they can be at. This is going to be a little bit of a free-flowing show. The show is Monday through Friday at noon. I will say last week, Friday, did kind of miss it. Kind of got, occupied with a little bit of work. But we'll, get right into it. So, all right. Appreciate people popping through. So this is something I saw in the comments section for me of the, let me up the gain so I don't have to have like directly in my friggin' face. And if it's a little too loud, I apologize. This is something I have seen. Yeah, no, I do think that's actually pretty cool. That actually is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I like that quite a bit. This is something I have seen in the conversation about Team Canada, especially after all the allegations. They had a player get charged with something. He essentially goes to London, Ontario. It seems like that case is progressing, and we don't know exactly how things will pan out with that. Now, players are being charged, being asked to surrender themselves to police. You're gonna have to let the legal process play out. But let's go with what some people said in the comment sections of that video. Let's say these players are guilty, right? This is hypothetical. I'm not saying they are. I want to make this very clear in this video because people are going to jump down my throat. Well, in the hypothetical, in the case where this is a situation of something horrific that happened, right? Should Team Canada get suspended or banned from WJC for a year or two? Now, this is the thing with that conversation. First off, it's very difficult to punish guys that were never even involved never involved with the situation, punish them due to other idiots' mistakes, right? That's where I kind of get a little bit leery of banning like a nation due to it. But I will say this. We have seen countries get banned or barred from participating in these events due to many reasons. I know a lot of people will mention Russia with the whole war thing, and some people were very upset about that at the time. Some people were very for it. I think when it kind of comes down to it, in these certain circumstances, I don't like to punish individual players for the sins of their country, but I do understand why people get banned and why they get barred, because these aren't really required. These aren't, civil rights or anything like. These are events that, supposed to kind of build unity, so I can understand it in that sense. I'm not really for it. I don't really like banning or barring people due to their country's horrific acts. I mean, I'm from the United States, and with how much we meddle into other people's business, you could probably argue every single year of every single event, you could bar the USA from it due to, let's just be honest, some of the foreign policy. But this is not a political channel. I'm not going to go there. But so, do I think Team Canada should get banned if this situation is deemed to happen? Again, it's so difficult to ban a country due to if they're guilty in that sense, for the horrific things that certain individuals did. I wouldn't really want that to start being a thing. Like if a player does something awful, the country has to pay for it. But I could understand it, especially if Hockey Canada participated, and this is what a lot of people will say. If Hockey Canada participated in like a cover-up, absolutely. Like if they assisted these players, covered it up, I know they ended up paying that woman like 3.2 or 3.5, I forget off the top of my head, $1 million. But if they helped, and this was a part of this case where you had someone involved directly with Hockey Canada, where they informed the players like, hey, that woman went to the police. Um, that, I mean, it kind of makes more sense in that regard, where a banning or a suspension of some kind. It just sucks that players that had nothing to do with it will get punished. Yeah, it's a very difficult field to navigate, because if you say if you say they should get banned, right? Some people will say, hey, well, these players weren't involved. That's not their fault. You shouldn't blame a whole country for a bunch of fucking morons, right? But then on the flip side, it's like, well, these people did something absolutely horrific, and Hockey Canada helped cover it up. There should be some type of punishment. So I wouldn't really be mad if there was some type of banning or suspension. I wouldn't be mad either way. I could understand both sides, why to ban and why not to ban. And that might be, oh, you're just sitting, you're fence sitting. I'm like, well, it's kind of hard. This is a very unique situation. Now, if there's more, like reading into some articles, there was some involvement with Hockey Canada, but it finds out that Hockey Canada, a lot of people in administration, which they're gone now, if they ended up completely covering it up on purpose and like there was a big scandal, then I'm like, yeah, just ban them for a few years. I mean, make them face the consequences of their own actions. I could understand that. BTS has to say, I really don't like Canada, but we should ban it. But we shouldn't ban a country. That's what I think we missed. Shouldn't ban a country from a sport because of what 5 players did, and that's where for me I'm kind of running into that weird thing. It's like these are just players being like, if they're deemed guilty, I have to reiterate this. It's if they're guilty, right? So I don't want to get sued. This is all alleged. Don't want to get sued here. I'll put it this way: if it's deemed guilty of those acts and they did do that in a horrific way, I could completely understand. I can completely understand the sentiment of wanting to ban them, but it is difficult. Like if there wasn't everyone involved in Hockey Canada and it was just maybe one bad apple, it would be kind of unfair to those young kids that had nothing to do with that situation to get barred from play. It's so difficult. It shouldn't happen in the first place. It just, like, young men, do not do that. Do not do that. Just, ugh. But I mean, I guess that's going to be my little segment on that. So it's just a fucking lose-lose. So, well, let's change gears. Let's get off the minefield I'm trying to like not explode on. Who is the best team in the NHL right now? Let me kind of pop up the NHL standings. Well, that's what we'll do. We'll go by the standings alone. But no, I would actually kind of want to see, like, who do you consider the best team in the NHL right now? And BTS, you can't really say the Carolina Hurricanes because they've been struggling. But I mean, they've actually kind of bounced back recently. But they haven't had the great season. They haven't had the great season I expected them to have going into. But which I still think there's time. I think there's time to fucking turn things around. I think they have good pieces. But let's go into it. And I'm just kind of giving you a little crap there, BTS. I'm not just playing around with you a bit. Let's see. Kind of pop this up. Let's look at the standings. Let's look around the league. Like, okay, who is really killing it this year, right? All right. Let's go. We'll go through the divisions and I'll do the whole league thing, make it a little bit easier. So the Bruins, 49 games played, 31 wins, 9 losses, 9 overtime losses, 71 points. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I expected the Bees to be this good. No, I expect them to be a wild card team. Not going to lie to you. I'm not going to be like, oh, I knew they were going to be this good. That was not the case. Then you got the Florida Panthers, who having, a strong season. I mean, some people thought they'd be a fluke after the great run they went to the Stanley Cup final, where Vegas eventually did beat them. But Florida has really come into their own. They have really played well. Tampa Bay, with some of their goaltending issues, Vasilevsky seems like he's been better recently after coming back from procedure. 59 points. They're still in that third spot. They have 3 more games played, though, than Toronto. So, they're most likely, they're going to be battling for that third spot, fourth spot, or wild card spot, I should say. Got the Maple Leafs, got 58 points. They're a team that has some pieces. I mean, the Atlantic is pretty deep, right? Detroit's in that conversation. So we go into the Metropolitan, the Rangers, who 4-5-1 in their last 10. Shesterkin's not having a great year statistically. Carolina, I mean, they've been really good lately, 7-2-1. They did have a slow start to the, they did have a slow start, but they're really kind of rounding into form. Some of that was due to some injuries. Philadelphia Flyers, the surprise for me in the Metro. I mean, I got to say, hats off to Tortorella, really having those boys play really good hockey. Really, really good hockey. And I wouldn't imagine the Flyers to be in third in the Metro, like at the All-Star break. So that's really impressive. Then you have the New York Islanders, who they brought in Patrick Waugh, having the boys fired up. 2-6-2 in their last 10, but I mean, under Waugh, I think there's going to be more accountability. I think there's going to be better defensive structure because they have good pieces in defense. They have one of the better goalies in the NHL, but Sorokin, and I do think they have some offensive pieces that they should be better than they are. And the Pittsburgh Penguins, who have the least amount of games played in their division, so they have a good chance to make a big bump if they go on a winning streak. But 46 games played, 22 wins, 17 losses, 7 overtime losses for 51 points. Oh, one thing I do got to note, 12 overtime losses for the Islanders. So they lost a lot of close games. But the Penguins have been really disappointing, I would have to say. They bring in a guy like Erik Karlsson, and, excuse me, was he a product? Was he a product of the team around him in San Jose where he got so many points? Like, oh, I'm the only guy here that can score outside of, like, Tomas Hertl? And, I mean, I thought the Pittsburgh Penguins would be far better than they are. It just has not been the case. They can still make the playoffs. We're not saying they're not good. They have the ability. They have the pieces. And Sidney Crosby's still a great player at this age. I'm still waiting on the Ranta video. I'm actually kind of funny enough because now I got a little bit of time with the All-Star break. I made the McKinnon video. I'm actually in the process of making another video, and then I'm actually working on the Ranta video. I'm just getting highlights for Ranta. He's one of those weird goalies. I keep getting like of various different teams. I just want to have highlights with him in the Carolina Hurricanes, but finding that can be kind of a pain in the butt. But yeah, that is going to happen. Torts is going to be, I mean, hats off to, I know he's one of these guys that has a short shelf life where he goes, but he does make these players, with the right players to be fair, play like the best versions of themselves generally. Like if he'll take that underdog. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be making more videos, probably like 1 or 2 a week about player specific videos, because I think it's a lot of fun to make first off, and then secondly, you can kind of get into the nitty gritty of their game. Like the Nathan McKinnon video, that's actually going to be my shortest one of these videos. So I was like, oh, screw it, I'll get it up today. But yeah, absolutely. So let's see. The Devils, I mean, they've had some goaltending issues, and they've had some health issues as well. The Metro's actually pretty deep. I mean, if you really think about it, 4th and 7 are separated by a point. I mean, the Capitals, Lindgren's been really good for them this year. I know Ovechkin's not his usual self. So, I mean, all right. I mean, that's the Atlantic, the Metro. Let's look at the Central. I mean, Colorado Avalanche, number 1 in the Central. I mean, Winnipeg has a couple games in hand, so you could argue they're better on the point percentage. So you could say they're the best team in the Central Division. But you got Colorado, you got Dallas, Winnipeg, who's had a tremendous year, and then I think when you go from 4 down to 8, and at least in the Central, it's a significant drop off in talent, right? So the three teams, if you want to have that conversation for best team in the NHL, it would be those 3 in the Central. And then for the Pacific, I mean, Vancouver has been absolutely tremendous during this run. I mean, during this season. They've been absolutely tremendous. Vegas Golden Knights, and they have picked up where they left off last season. And the Edmonton Oilers, a team that was dead in the freaking water. Dead in the water. Dead on arrival on a 16-game winning streak with a chance to tie the Pittsburgh Penguins record against Vegas. I'm excited for that one. I'm excited for that game. Hats off to them. They have been freaking terrific during that run. And I know some of the comments will say, or some of the conversation will be like, well, they didn't play anyone. I don't give a shit. You win 16 in a row? 16 in a row. That's insane. That's an insane winning streak. That's incredible. The Bruins didn't do that last season, and they had a historic season. That's amazing. 16 straight wins. It's not like they're playing, like people in the Fed Hockey League and beating the crap. Like, they're playing NHL teams. 16 straight wins. And hockey's one of these sports that we all know has some weird, funky bounces, and it's like, oh, well, crap. That's a game we should have won, but just got out of hand. And nope. Edmonton's like, we're tired of sucking. We had a terrible start to the season. We were one of the worst teams in the NHL. And when they brought in the new guy, when they brought in Knobloch, and they brought in Paul Coffey, things have turned around tremendously. They have been fantastic. So, they're in that conversation as the best team in the NHL, just because of recency bias. The LA Kings, a team that is going to be in that conversation for, like, playoff spot, I should say. Seattle Kraken, Calgary, and then, the Anaheim Ducks and San Jose, both in different phases currently. So, we'll kind of go into the wild card. Let me check the, we'll go into the wild card real quick and kind of see what the thing's going. Let's see. San Jose is doing fantastic. That is, oof. Cap, do you think the Bruins are getting Lindholm? Rumors are spinning. We'll see. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, I think I've talked about that. I think if you could get another center and then move Zacha to the wing, I think you would get more offense from Zacha. I'm not saying he hasn't been good in a second line role. Charlie Coyle, I mean, he's solidified himself in that top spot. But I think if you add Lindholm, that'd be fantastic. It's just, if Calgary doesn't believe, if they don't believe they're going to be a playoff team, you're better off just moving off from him. And just say, hey, like, let's get something. But what are the Bruins going to give up? Are we going to give up Lysell? Are we going to give up, like, Merkulov? Are we going to give, like, what are we going to give up? That's going to be the most interesting part in that. 16 wins is about your team, not opponents. 100% agree with you, Rain. 100% agree with you. That is superb. That's just a superb play by the team. Sharks have 16. Oh, shit. I was trying not to say it. It's hard because I don't want to keep kicking them when they're down, just like kicking them, but, they're not a very good team. That's what I'm wondering. It's going to be very interesting to see if the Bruins, like, do I think getting Lindholm would make the Bruins a better team? Absolutely, but I don't want them to give up too much in this. They have no draft capital already, right? So, like, what are you going to give up, like a first-round pick in 2050, right? It just, you got to be careful with how much you give. And Calgary, they're not real. I don't want to talk too much on the Flames, like, negatively, but I just don't look at the Flames as a serious contender, right? I think they would be better off trying to get assets. I just don't know if the Bruins have enough horses in that regard to kind of pull a guy. But, I mean, maybe they do. Maybe Don Sweeney works another miracle. But after last season, if I'm being honest with the Bruins fan, I would rather them at this point just make one move. Do not bring in multiple people. Just make one player and see how it works out because it's less disruptive to the chemistry. Is myself a bust? No. Toothless, you are always perfect. No. But I think you meant Lysell. I think Lysell, if I'm going to be honest with you, there has been complaints in Providence about his commitment to a full 200-foot game and that if he doesn't commit to that, he'll never play for Montgomery. He'll never play for the Bruins. I think the physical talent is there with Lysell. And nobody can question the offensive aspect of his game. But yeah, I mean, to be kind of honest with you, there has been complaints about other areas of his game and if he's mature enough yet. Now, I'm not going to say he's a bust yet. I'll just quickly kind of share here the tab for the AHL. 40 games played, 11 goals, 24 assists for 35 points. He's third on the team in scoring. He's a very effective player, very good, right? I think he's he's so young at this point. Yeah, I mean, he's relatively young. He was drafted in the first round, 2021 and the 21st. I'm not going to give up on Lysell yet. I think the offense is there. I mean, he's showing a significant improvement in the offensive side of the game. He's more, productive offensively. His plus minus is better. But there is some kind of concerns about the other areas of his game if he's good enough to justify being in a top spot. And as of right now for the Bruins, he's not an NHL guy option right now. I think the Bruins, for what he is, and that's the knock I'd have on like what the Bruins would need. Merkulov would be far better in like a middle six role. Same thing with like Lysell. You would have to play more of a skilled role. And I don't think the Bruins are going to really disrupt that. I think he'd be better off playing like a very long season in Providence and showing good production. And then we'll see from there. Him and Merkulov were a long shot. Merkulov was kind of in a better position to make that next step, in my opinion, because I think Lysell is just, he needed to add more strength in other aspects. I'm not giving up. I don't think he's a bust yet. He was drafted 21st overall only like a few drafts ago. But I think next year, like he's got to try to make the big squad. Like that's, I'm not saying it's a complete make it or break it, but then we're kind of getting to the point where he's getting older and he's got to kind of turn into it. Like he's got to become better. If any teams beat the record for most losses in a row, what team do you think it will be? I mean, you could say San Jose at this point. You could say San Jose. You could. I'm just saying. San Jose. Oh, there you go. One loss. I mean, Chicago's got 4. What is the most losses? Hold on. I got to look this up. Most losses in a row, NHL. Losing streaks. What is the losing streak record? 17. Done by the Washington Capitals in 74 because they were the worst team in NHL history, 74-75, and the San Jose Sharks in 92-93. 17. That's crazy. I don't think anyone beats that record this season. I don't think so. I think there's enough parity. I'll just share the tab because this is what the NHL record says. It says 17 with Washington. So Buffalo had 14. San Jose 17. The Philadelphia Quakers. You know what I kind of want to get for breakfast tomorrow? It's probably Quaker Oats. Fire. All right. I don't know if anyone's beaten 17, though. That's a freaking tough record to beat. I'll say that. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Do you think the Jets will get out of a 3-game loss slump and do what they did last year and collapse second? It's hard because the Jets are missing pieces. So it's like because, okay. And this is what I like about doing these shows, like having conversations with chat, because like I have an idea where I want to go, but I'd rather just keep talking and getting different because subjects, that's actually kind of interesting. So like with let me share if it will let me. I get it. I know you want me to stream on Peacock. You want my money. I get it. All right, so looking at the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, you got Scheifele out, Gustafsson. He's day-to-day. I think the Jets are going to be fine. I think with the way they play the game, they'll be good. They got some depth scoring. I mean, missing Scheifele does hurt. It wasn't Morrissey out for, if I recall, for a little bit too during this losing streak. I think the Jets will be fine. It's one of these things that, I mean, teams will get hot, then they'll get a little bit cold, and they'll go right back. I mean, I think you have enough pieces with the Winnipeg Jets that they should be fine. They'd be a very good team. I mean, Velarde's only played 27 games this year, 20 points. I mean, Kyle Connor, same thing. I actually think the Jets have a good chance once they build a little bit more chemistry, a little bit more familiarity with certain players that have been kind of missing games due to injury. They could get hot again because you're having more talent infused into this lineup. I think very highly of the Jets. I don't think it's a fluke. I don't think they should collapse. I think you have a great goaltender in Connor Hellebuck, one of the best goalies in the world. The goalie that is underappreciated due to being in the Winnipeg market. And then Brossoit, who came over, was it from Vegas? Yeah, from Vegas last year. He's been great in this backup role. I know he hasn't played so many games. He only played 12, but I mean, a .927 save percentage, a 2.07 goals against average. He's giving you exactly what you need in a backup role. He's been very good, but you have the horse in Hellebuck, and great year, and you have Morrissey. You have DeMello. You got Dylan Point, Sandberg. I mean, I think you're a quality team overall. Good defense, good goaltending. solid pieces up front. Could you argue you'd want to, like, if you could get another player, it'd be great, but let me look at the Jets. I don't really have any cap, right? Yeah, they have 1.5 million, which I don't think they're really gonna make a move in that regard. But I don't think they should collapse. I think they should be in a good situation to get on another hot streak once everyone gets healthy. At least in my opinion. Maybe I'm optimistic, or maybe a little bit too optimistic with some people, maybe annoys people, but I think they have a good chance to be a very good team and keep clicking. I was going to ask a question earlier, depending on who's the bottom. Oh, I was going to ask you the same question. Easier predicting who's at the bottom than at the top of the standings. I feel like it's easier to kind of determine the bottom because, like, when you look at a roster and it's like, oh yeah, they don't have any NHL players, or oh, they have mainly AHL guys or like guys that are very young in the development. Like, it's pretty easy to determine who's going to be the worst teams. I think that where it gets a little bit more interesting is towards the top end because I mean, going into the year, did you really think Vancouver was going to be one of the best teams in the NHL? They've always had the talent, but they've always underperformed. So it was like that weird situation. It's like they do have pieces there. They should be better than they perform. But I think that's where it's a little bit more difficult. Are you in any leagues, Chell-wise? Actually, yes. I am in the UHL. So it's actually a league I run. Shoot, I'll just advertise it right now because I can. So this is a league I run. There's another league. There's other leagues out there, but the UHL is the only league that has for no cost, no entry fee. It's the only league where you can win money, right? So we have this season we have a $2,500 prize pool. We currently have the Stanley Cup Championship going on right now between the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that's going to be happening. The league's Tuesday through Thursday. We're going to be changing from Monday to Wednesday, just kind of make it a little bit better for availability. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna we pay when people decide to own teams. We end up paying like we give the owners about $50 a pop. You know, essentially the game they get for free for managing in our league. But then the rest of the money is divided between the Stanley Cup winner. So yeah, I do actually play in some leagues. Chell-wise, played in for many years actually, and wanted to kind of help form our own thing with less BS and more about player community and just more of a positive player community. So I'll actually, if you're interested, I can kind of quickly get a Discord link in the comment section right now. I'll send a Discord invite if you're interested. If you do play NHL 24, that's a really good league to get involved with. Yeah, I'll kind of get things kind of going in that regard. Let's see, maybe later. But yeah, I can definitely do that. Let me copy link address, and I'll put this in the chat. I know some of you probably don't play Chell, but you know, there you go. Put that. If that works, just copy and paste that. But yeah, I'm the guy. I don't know if you play League Gaming. I don't play in League Gaming because of some of the stuff that went on down there. I was like, nope, not interested. But yeah, that's the league I play in. Or kind of really help run. Do you think Matthews will leave the Leafs when his contract is up? No, I don't think so. I think he gets paid too much money. I think the Leafs will do whatever they have to do to retain Matthews. They got to sell their firstborn child. They will. I mean, Matthews is signed until 2028, so that's years down the road, which was smart. So he'll cash in again, still in his prime. I don't really see him foregoing or leaving the Leafs. I don't think they'll allow it to happen. They'll probably just keep giving him the highest market value that he'll ever get. God, I hate these ads on this. I love cat friendly, but God, their ads are annoying. He's making $13.25 million per year, but that kicks in 24-25 season. Yeah, I just don't know if anyone's really gonna be able to match that. I think the Leafs are just gonna throw him like here, like let's back up the Brink trucks, baby. That's what they're gonna do with Matthews. I think he's no way he's gonna leave. Side question: Monahan was traded to the Habs as a side dish on a first round pick with understanding he would be traded to a contender team. Where is he going? I don't know. That's a very good answer. Don't know. That's a very, very good answer. I mean, all right. That's going to be interesting. Because, I mean, his contract's cheap. If we're talking about Sean Monahan, yep. Contract cheap. He's only a 1-year deal, right? Yeah. So, this is the thing with Monahan. He's going to be one of these players. Center, left wing, right wing. Yeah, he's a center, right? I thought. Yeah. He's going to be one of these players, though. I don't think teams will ever really spend on him or give him too much term because he's had multiple hip surgeries. He's had multiple hip surgeries, and I think teams are very wary of giving him any type of long-term deal due to that. He's already had a few procedures. If a team was going to deal for him, I mean, his contract is affordable. It's nothing crazy. It's a if you could probably get the Habs to retain some salary if you really needed them to. But, I wouldn't, if you want to make a small little cheap get at the line, 35 points, 49 games played, he's been solid, on a very, let's just call it what it is, mediocre, below average Montreal Canadiens team. And I think very bright of the Canadiens' future. I think they got prospects in the pool that should eventually develop into something. But I think for a guy like Monahan who's in the late 20s, he's having a good year statistically. Does he get dealt somewhere? I think that it would probably make the most sense to deal him if I'm the Habs. You're not going to get a King's ransom for him, right? He's only on a 1-year deal. He has hip injury issues. But if you could get a third or a fourth round pick for him, I mean, I'd do it. Just what do you think he is at this point? I'd have to watch more film on Monahan, to be fair. I thought he's looked decent, but I'd have to just go into watch a bunch of games back to back to back, see is he still a good quality center? I'll be fair in that regard. I'm not. I've watched some Habs games this year, but I've been more focused on the Caulfield, Suzuki, and even Slavkovsky, kind of seeing where he's at, seeing if he's going to become something. But I think if I'm them, I mean, if I'm a team and I need a guy that can play any forward spot who's a center, which is hard to fill, I would kick the tires on him. UHL, got it? Yeah, no, definitely check it out. As for Matthews, you might want to go think about the Arizona Coyotes. I mean, if they're still in Arizona by the end of his deal, then that's a whole different conversation. Are you going to have a side host this stream? Not this stream. I was expecting to have Fajardo with me. That was going to be the initial plan. He had to do a few things. Mainly these streams have been just me, and that's why they're 30 minutes to an hour. And it's kind of been good to kind of challenge myself as a live streamer and keep improving as time goes on and just having conversations. So, I mean, hey, I don't really mind it in that regard. Do you think the NHL will change the OT format? I know a lot of fans want them to, but do you think they will actually do it? I don't know. Bettman is a hard nut to crack. I don't like the 3-on-3 format. I'll be fair. I'm one of these players. I'm one of these fans that I'm not the biggest fan of the format as currently constructed. I preferred the 4-on-4, and maybe that's an unpopular thing. I just thought that was better. And yeah, I mean, I get why they did the shootout thing because they want a loser. They want a winner. But maybe. I mean, I think it would be good. I mean, the 3-on-3 is not terrible, I guess. It's just, to me, at least. To me, it's I could take it or leave it. Rain says, Monahan could make a big difference in a wildcard team. He wants out of Montreal. They think they're getting a first-round pick for him. He's one of the few that weren't puck watching in Boston. If the Canadians think that anyone's going to give them a first-round pick for a guy with multiple hip procedures, they're out of their mind. Out of their mind. If that is indeed a story, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. He's a good player. He's effective. I'm not slandering the guy's name. But that's insane. No way. No way. But all right, back to the segment. I got a little sidetracked. Let's look at the wild card teams right now. Got the Maple Leafs, Red Wings, and you got multiple teams, kind of a few points, 5 points back, but Islanders, Penguins, Devils, Capitals in the conversation. Then the wild card of the West. You got the Kings, Blues, Predators, Kraken. I mean, the Yotes. I was kind of hoping the Coyotes make the playoffs. That would be my dream. I want them to be that wild card spot. But the Blues have been on fire. They've been on a winning streak. We'll see if they can keep it up. That'll be interesting to see. But who's the best team in the league? Who's that team that you're like, God damn, they're so good. They're the best team in the league. And if I was to make that determination, on the whole season, not just recently where they got hot, if you're going to say the best team right now, currently, like if I was saying the best team right now, just due to the win streak, it would be the Edmonton Oilers, right? 16-game winning streak with a possible to tie the record. Can't really refute that. But if I was to say for the best best half of the season, to me at least, I would probably give the edge to the Canucks because I think the Canucks have good offensive weapons, solid enough defense, and great goaltending in Demko. I mean, the Bruins have good defense, a great tandem. But maybe they have more wins than the Bruins, right? And quite frankly, no one was expecting this. So if I was going to say a best team in the NHL, just overall, I would just give it to the Canucks as of this point of the season. Now they can continue to be great. They could get cold. We don't know. But I mean, I would just give it to the Canucks because they have been so impressive and nobody was expecting it. NHL needs to fit their games into TV time slots. I mean, that is true. And you know what team I'm going to say? I'm a little biased. A little is an exaggeration. We all know you were going to pick Carolina. Carolina's all the way down here at slot 9. But they're good recently, though. 7-2-1. So, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if someone said Winnipeg or, whatever. Like Panthers, they've been good. The Avalanche have come on strong. Wouldn't be mad, but I think if I'm going to say the whole season, they have the best. I think they the best goal differential in the league, and they've come out of nowhere. Nowhere's a stretch. I mean, they've always had talent, but no one was expecting them to be the best team in the league this year. Nobody, except Canucks fans. They'll probably say, "Oh, we expected this." I was like, "Come on!" And I'll kind of do this last segment. Kind of throw it to the fans. Throw it to the subscribers. Are you guys excited for the All-Star game? Like, legitimately, are you guys excited? Because I'm not. I hate to say it that way. I'm like an old bitter man. I just hate this. I hate fun. But the All-Star game to me just is nothing. Like, nothing. Boring. I just watch it. I hate the format. It's not even real hockey anymore. It's not 5-on-5. It's not real. It's like when I was a kid watching that shit, it used to be a lot of fun, like watching the best of the best, like, Martin Brodeur, Patrick Waugh, Eddie Belfour, Dominic Hasek, even Byron Dafoe had that one legendary year. It's like, to me, well, the All-Star game when it's 5-on-5 and all that, quite frankly, okay, cool, fun. But now it's like 3-on-3 and just draft, and I understand they're trying to make it new and exciting. I don't know. Are we just so boring or am I getting so old at this point at the age of 32? I just don't like fun. Because the All-Star games have sucked the last few years. I don't know. I can't get into it like I used to. I think that some of the skill competitions can be a little bit cool. It's actually fun. I enjoy more like the content creators like doing these different events and wacky things and making videos about the All-Star game than the actual All-Star game itself. And maybe that's crazy, but that's just how I feel. I think they suck. I think the All-Star game sucks. It's a reward to players, and I think it's great to be nominated as an All-Star. But I think the festivities just kind of have gotten boring and mundane. I think it gets kind of cringe at times. It's like, all right, like, make this shit like about the game, make it exciting, have some fun. The skills competition, like I miss the old All-Star like skills competitions and like how much fun they used to be. Now it's just like stupid and goofy. And I know you want to have fan interaction, but I don't know. I'm becoming a fucking hater, aren't I? Yeah, I am definitely becoming a hater in this segment, so I apologize, but it's just not for me. Not for me. Don't count out the Avs. You did a good video on them. Yeah, I mean, no, the Avalanche are in that discussion. I do have question marks about Gorgiev, if he'll be able to bounce back. All-Star Week is becoming embarrassing at times, and that's kind of how I feel about it. Make a video on how much Doritos had to pay for the jersey sponsor. Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Oh my god. Those jerseys are ugly as shit too. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Just fucking crazy. Freaking trash. Look at these all. I'm trying to get a picture of them. Oh shit! Look at these fucking things. Look how ugly these fucking things are. Hold on, share this tab instead. Let's zoom in. How ugly is this shit? How ugly is this shit? Look at this. What is this? Who makes this? Like these jerseys are terrible. Awful. Awful, awful, awful. Cool Ranch, good Doritos. All right? You can't go wrong with Nacho, but look at this shit. This sucks. I am sorry. These have to be the worst NHL jerseys, worst All-Star jerseys of all time. Trash, garbage. Throw it in the dumpster. This is a terrible. I'm coming off as a hater, but this shit is garbage, trash, basura. I just awful. I do not like. I think when I'm looking at an All-Star jersey, that is something I wouldn't even wipe my ass with. I would not even wipe my ass with this jersey. It's terrible. I actually think the brown shit stains would make it look better. Quite frankly. I think I just like who designed these was Justin Bieber, right? Was he smoking crack? Like what was he super high when he designed these jerseys? Because that's the honest to God question I have at this point. Like, how fucking high were you when you made these? I don't understand it. I never will. Maybe they look better in person. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But I'm looking at this jersey and I'm like, is this great quality? Does this look different? No, it looks stupid. Well, it's all bright and colorful and it's unique and different. No, this sucks. Like, what is this? It literally looks like Dorito bags. That's hilarious. Oh, I fucking hate the jerseys. It's absolutely horrific, and whoever designed them, if it was indeed Justin Bieber, if I remember correctly, you are not a hockey fan. You are a hater in disguise, because if you're making players embarrass themselves by wearing this friggin' garbage, absolute garbage, fucking hate that jersey. I hate those jerseys. They're so bad. I don't know. There'll probably be some cool segments. Cool segments, probably some. I think they do have some type of inclusion of the PWHL, which will be exciting. I'm kind of getting those clips together for some videos this weekend. I just, yeah, fucking awful. Awful, awful jerseys. Awful. Oh, I just want to put bleach in my eyes and just, ugh. Are you still streaming Friday? I'm actually starting to wrap up now. So, am I still going to be streaming Friday? Yeah, no, I will. Let me just put this because I'm going to be a complete corporate sellout, you know. So people watch later like, oh, wow. So, I got to kind of write it down, Got to be one of these like YouTubers that every 5 minutes, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please love me. Yeah, I'm still going to be streaming Friday. Last Friday, this didn't work out because I got back. I was exhausted. I fell asleep. And then I went right back out. So it's just I was working and it was a lot going on. But yeah, I should be streaming Friday. Same time, same bat channel, noon Eastern. And when I go back on the boats in late February, I'm going to have to probably switch to start doing streams at night. Right now, just with how I can kind of manipulate the schedule, it's better for me scheduling wise to do it at noon where it's the quietest. So what I'm probably going to do after this, I'm kind of in the middle of editing a few videos, and then I'm going to kind of like take a nap and then go back out. But yeah, I should be streaming Friday. I'll be streaming Monday through Fridays, noon, every single day. Unless something happens, next time I'll make a post about it. But I appreciate everyone popping through. We had quite a bit of viewers on this stream. I mean, hell, if you enjoyed it, make sure to listen to Corporate Captain Paul. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It rustles my jimmies. It makes life feel good. With one simple like, with one simple comment, you help me feed my children. Well, I don't have children, but my hypothetical children, so make sure to do so. And if you are also inclined, if you do want to become a financial supporter of the channel, we have YouTube membership programs and a Patreon that I need to be far better about uploading private content to. I've just had so much shit going on. I do have some things in the docket that I need to get back to, so I apologize, but, if you want some exclusive content, I will have more over there as well because there's less restrictions. So I am Captain Paul from the Locker Room. If you haven't checked out my latest Nathan McKinnon video, make sure to do so. And I'll probably have another video up probably not today, but most likely tomorrow, whether it be about whatever. I'll keep it a surprise. So, and Rain, this is why I appreciate you. No stress. Keep it fierce. Keep it fun for yourself. No need for private content. We're spoiling you what you're already doing. Thanks. Good day. You're a legend. I appreciate it, but I do need to be better about that, which I will. It's because on the Patreon and the private videos, I'm able to actually use far longer clips to explain certain things. And it makes it a lot more fun for me. But I appreciate your support. I'm Captain Paul again, and I'll see you in the next one.